jail. We're cool as fuck. That if shit popped off, we would have to go at each other.
Yeah.
Can you explain a time where that's happened?
Yeah, like, I mean, I've had a few incidents where it's had to happen where, I just had to got put to the test. I was kind of like the only person who had access to like a black guy that was like, because sometimes when you're like, I was like one time I was you get a 24-hour lockdown, so you get out for an hour a day, so you have no contact with anybody. So like I was the guy who had contact with my neighbor, who happened to be the dude who wanted his newspaper that the homies took. So since I had access to him, I was the guy who had to go in there and handle it because I was the only one who would ever have access to him.
And this was at Pleasantville?
Yeah, this was just in regular county. That was the first time. Like Pleasant Valley, like one time, I remember we were eating chow, and like next thing you know, everyone's eating all the time, wherever you're at in prison. You're eating, you're going about your day, and then you hear the alarm. Mm-hmm. And once the alarm stops, like goes, like it's like a complete dead silence. Like everybody's quiet, everybody's looking. You see COs like walking around, running around, looking for where the fight's at. And then, like, you'll see they'll handcuff one race and they'll walk by. And then the whole yard, the whole prison, everybody's waiting for the next race to walk by. Because if you see a black dude walk by, and then everybody's waiting to see who he fought. He either fought another black dude and it goes back to normal program. Okay. Or he fought a white guy, or he fought a Mexican, or he fought an Asian, and then boom. Right there. Everyone just jumps and starts going at it.
Oh shit!
So it's like you just waiting.
What kind of? That's the one group we didn't mention yet. The Asian group. What are they, and how much like pool do they have in?
The Asians. I mean, they're cool. I mean, they're not really deep in there. They run with the blacks. Oh. Okay. So I mean, pretty much a lot of Asians. Like if you see like on the streets, a lot of Asians that are Crip blood, talk like that. That's because in there, that's where they run. They wear the do-rags. There's some crazy little motherfuckers, though. Don't get them wrong. But, I mean, yeah, they run with the blacks.
So shit popped off. Then do they then have to jump in, or can they be like, you know what, this ain't our fight?
Yeah, they won't jump in necessarily because what they run under is others. Because like others are like Indians, Asians, like other kind of races. Like they all run together. But the reason why they run with the blacks is because they use the black areas. They use like their tables, their showers. Gotcha. They're like our areas is for Hispanics and the whites, and then everyone else is the blacks and others.
Oh shit! What happens if you're mixed?
You pick one.
So are there any like black Hispanics?
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah,
really?
Yeah, there's a couple. Yeah, I mean you got black. If you're white, if you're black, if you're Asian. It doesn't matter where you're from. If you're from a Mexican neighborhood, your neighborhood has a 13 at the end of it. It doesn't matter what race you are. As soon as you go in there, that's who you are. You're one of us. Oh, okay. And it's kind of like a double standard because if you're black, if you're a white dude and you're a Crip and you go in there and hang out with the blacks, like they're gonna fuck you up.
Who's gonna?
Majority of the time, the blacks.
Okay.
Like the majority of times they'll put hands on them because it's like, dude, you're white. You're gonna start problem between us because then the skinheads will go right, and then they'll take, and it's always happens like that. But you get some white dudes that, the blacks keep around. I remember there was this dude, Hard White from Baker's. Like, that's my boy. Like, big old white dude, dreadlocks, mom half black, half white. But, skinheads try to get him off the yard. Blacks backed him up. You get some white dudes that are in there and blacks don't even fuck with him. They're like, nah, he's not down.
And I just have to ask this because, TV suggests that this is a thing. Rape. Is that prevalent as much as people say it is, or is it more like it happens, but it ain't like that?
Yeah, it's not like you're gonna get rape. I mean, the majority of it's
rape. If one rape is bad, bro. You're not gonna get. So hey, if you go to jail, you might get a little rapes.
Yeah. There was this one time. There was this riot, and I seen this motherfucker like this will like thumb someone's butt like.
What?
Yeah, so that was kind of like that wasn't like rape. That was like
man,
rape.
That's rape. If there's penetration or anything you don't want to do, man, that's rape.
Yeah.
But it's not like how people say, like, you come in new and then there's some guy that's like, oh, I want that, so I'm just gonna rape this dude. Like it don't go like that.
Oh no, there was this when we were in Old Folsom. There was this housing clerk. I won't say his name, but he's the one that houses everybody. Mm-hmm. This dude like. every fag that walked through, like this dude put him in his cell and had him first.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He had it like that.
Wait, so he was an inmate?
Yeah, he was an inmate lifer, but like he's a housing clerk. So like everyone who comes in, you put him where what house you're gonna go to.
Oh, so
he
was like, putting them in his.
Yeah, and he'd get his way, and then he'd sip them out.
Oh fuck! Yeah. So then that's people's getting raped in there, bro. Like
it was like there's like because you got a lot of pills. The state pays for a lot of people to get their hormones. You got people in there getting their shit cut off. You got them with tits. You got people like you're walking around the yard and they look like girls.
What?
Oh yeah, the state pays for all that,
and that's because. Oh, are these people that want to look like girls?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay. It's like, okay, I see what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's it's all day in that motherfucker. Like,
damn, that's some crazy shit.
So, it ain't rape. It's like consensual. You got motherfuckers in there.
Oh, I see.
Doing 6 months and shit, and they're gonna go in there and fucking go home.
Right. So while it's not so much rape as it is fuck, I'm here.
Yeah.
So it's more consensual than people would like to admit.
Yeah.
So when people get out, they're like, yeah, I got raped, but really they in there doing the do because I see what's going on.
It depends too. Like our race, like we're not allowed to do none of that shit.
Right.
Like we get like stabbed, we get whacked. We're pretty much a piece of shit. But like every other race, they're cool. Like
it don't matter.
Yeah, they got girlfriends, boyfriends, whatever.
Oh shit. So if a 13 had a boyfriend, he would be killed
or off the yard, gone. Like he wouldn't be able to stay there.
Are there some people who break that rule, or no? They just.
Maybe on the low, but
they're not telling everybody.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah,
I see what you're saying. All right, food. What's the food like?
Oh, that's good. You get food from outside. Like, shit, breakfast. I worked in the kitchen for like 3-4 years. You get eggs, Trader Tots, fucking SOS biscuits, gravy, pancakes. Every Sunday's a Grand Slam.
Oh.
Yeah, you get honey buns. You got you can get packages from the streets. Like you can have anything from the streets. I didn't go to breakfast for like almost 3 years. I just ate out of myself. Like burritos and hot plates and shit.
Like so you got people to bring that to you?
Packages and all that shit. Like I tattooed in there, so I made money.
Right.
So we had all kinds of shit.
And that's another thing I want to get to, but I want to get to this first. What we were really talking about. You had a near-death experience.
Oh, yeah.
At what place was this?
I was in Pleasant Valley.
This is in Pleasant Valley. Okay, can you walk us through that?
Yeah, I remember it was chow time, and we were sitting in the chow hall, and, we're just eating, and fucking alarm goes off. We're in the chow hall, everyone's sitting down, and you have the doors that you walk through, and they're big old windows, like you can see outside. So we're all sitting there eating, and it's quiet. You can hear everybody. You can hear everyone breathing. You can hear everyone's hearts pounding because everyone else is about to crack off. And so everyone's looking, and then like nobody really knows what's going on because there's a riot going outside of the chow hall on the yard. So all you see is you hear the gunshots, you see the COs running, you see people fighting, and it looked like a bunch of Mexicans. So but what had happened? I guess we had a black homie that was from Florencia, and I guess he was stomping out a paisa, and when one of the homies in the chow hall, all he's seen was a black guy stomping out a Mexican. So what he did is he socked the first black dude across from him, and then within seconds, that the whole chow hall just raised up, and everyone was just swinging.
Okay.
Everyone's swinging, everyone's falling because it was like tile. I don't know. It was the floor all of a sudden was so slippery that nobody could fight like standing like normal. It was like fighting on ice. Mm-hmm. So everyone starts fighting, and usually what you do, what you're taught is like you eat with your celly, you live with your celly. As soon as when you sit at your table and fights like that, you go back to back and you just start swinging. So we're going at it with the blacks. We're going back to back. We got them pretty good, and then like we started like breaking off into corners of the chow hall, and then all the weapons that they were throwing. Well, not weapons really. It was just like trays and like these big old containers and shit that has drinks in them. Like, I was army crawling out in the middle of the floor, grabbing those, handing them back to our pile of homies against the wall. Everyone was throwing shit back and forth. The doors opened up, and, people try to start running out. When all the homies start running out, whites start running out, and all the black inmates started running towards us. So as soon as they were running towards us, like, I turned around, like, fuck it, like, here we go. Mm-hmm. And then right when we get ready to fight, like, fucking, we just all hear the door slam. So we look back, everyone stops, we look around, and I was the only one left. at the time I thought I was the only one in there. So next thing you know, you just hear get him, and then fucking next thing you know, man, like they just started swinging. Like I got rushed. We started like about the beginning of the chow hall door, and there's like this little walkway, like you walk through this line, and there's like a long pole, like a railway. I was stuck in between that and the wall. Which actually ended up saving me because they couldn't get to me because there was like 60 plus inmates in there, and that was just black inmates. There was like there wasn't, because that was all that's left was them and then me, and then so like that kept like a little barrier from them getting all to me because there was like a swarm, and we were going at it, we were fighting. I remember I got one dude, started hitting him. I fell to the floor. I remember like laying down on the floor underneath the railing. And, I was getting kicked from the sides. These guys, they took apart the scullery. They took out some mop sticks, broke them in half. They were, like, spearing me. They're like, kill him, nigga, kill him, nigga. Like, I'm trying, cuz, I'm trying. They were just spearing me in the back. Fucking, I knew I was going to die. Like, I thought I was. I got up, got one dude. He was an older guy. But he's not a typical old man. These guys are swole. Like, this motherfucker, he's an old lifer. He's probably, like, 50-something at the time. I was, like, 23 maybe. And, but this dude's, like, super swole. And, me and him were just going at it. And, while I was going at it with him, like, I got stabbed a couple times in my head. Got stabbed in my back. I got speared in my back. And I was just, we were fighting. I really thought, like, this is it. This is how I die. As I gave up fighting after a while because I couldn't fight no more. There was too many. And which, because there were so many, that's what saved me, is because they couldn't all get to me at once. Like, if they would have slowed down and just fucking took their time, like, I would have been dead.
Right.
But it was more like,
or even if it was just like 10, 15 of them.
Yeah, if it was 10, 15, like I was gone. But because it was so many just trying to get me, like they're hitting each other a lot. But, so I gave up, and, I was just like, damn, this is how I'm going to die right now. This is how I'm going to die. So I stopped fighting because I was tired. And, there was a few little kicks here and there. And then, cops came in, started throwing all these smoke bombs. And they had their water hose, their fire hoses with pepper spray. And, everyone's spread apart. And, so then I'm laying there and I got all this smoke. Everything's pepper spray. The whole chow hall's just covered. You can't see. Everyone's burning and, like, screaming and shit. And then, like, I feel someone hugging my legs. And I look down and it was this dude, Psycho from Boscoe, in the corner. And then, we army crawled towards the door. And then, the smoke started settling and shit. And, everyone was, in their corners. And then, me and him were standing right there. And then you look across the chow hall and, all the blacks started getting up again and, running towards us. Like, fucking there they are. Let's kill them. Let's get these motherfuckers. And, so, like, I stood up. I grabbed this piece of a pipe that they were hitting me with that was from the scullery. It's like a belt that you roll all the trays on. They took that shit apart. So I picked that up. And, I stood up. And I was standing there in the chow hall. I grabbed the mop that they were stabbing me with. And I gave it to the homie Psycho. And, he's crying on the floor like, it's cool. And I'm just telling him, get up, fool, get the fuck up. Like, and I go stand in the middle of the chow hall, and, I stand there, I'm beat the fuck up. I'm bloody, like, my head's all split open, fucking, and I'm just standing there dripping blood with the pipe, like, waiting, like, here we go, like, this is how I die, and right when they were getting closer, there was this dude, Monster, from IE, and he was a shot caller for the blacks at the time, I guess, and this fool just told me, he's like, nah, man, it's over. He's like, it's over. He's like, you're a gangster. He's like, you're a fucking rider, man. Like, he's like, you're over here taking it, you're standing right there fighting all of us. He's like, look at all your homeboys. And I look outside and, like, the whole yard is just down. Like, watch it. They watched everything.
But they couldn't get in at this time.
They couldn't get in.
Even if they wanted to.
Even if they wanted to. And that's what sucks is everybody felt bad, but it was like, I just got caught. I just got stuck,
right.
But it ended up working out. I mean, I made it through. I mean, we stayed hostage in there with them from, like, 6 o'clock at night to, like, 2 o'clock in the morning.
Okay. I'm sorry. Why so long?
Because there was a riot in the chow hall. I mean, there was a riot on the other chow hall. There was a riot in the gym. And then they had everything on the yard. So they were taking care of all of that. Because as far as they were concerned, the chow hall was contained. Because there was nobody in there that was rioting except for me and then the black inmates. Because on the yard, it was really going at it with us and the paisas. It wasn't even with us and the blacks.
And this is another Hispanic game, right?
The paisas, yeah.
So why? Why was that?
It was drunk and owed money.
You said what?
They were drunk and one owed the other one money.
Oh, so
it was just
and
stupid
a riot
shit.
broke out after that? So then
because one of the homies seen a black homie stomping out a paisa. They thought it was a black guy stomping out a homie.
Oh.
So it was the chow hall was a misunderstanding with us and the blacks.
Right.
On the yard and in the gym was us and the paisas going at it.
So, okay,